Hello Virgo, welcome to AstroTarot.pro, and we are here to read for you for February 2022, and we would like to start with our prayer of protection, and we ask that our spirits bring us messages for you for your highest and best good with the best intention possible for Virgo. And I have been reading, as I said, I am Reverend Isabella Farr. I have been reading for about 30 years, both tarot and conducting chart study. So I do like to blend them because it's amazing to me. It kind of gives more validity when all the cards kind of have to give the same message. You know that's a strong message coming from all directions. Okay, so I will read from the original Rider deck as well as astrological cards and then moon sign cards. So you'll have messages from all the entities that are above us. And then in final message, I'll draw an angel card for you for what specific trait you need to work on for the coming weeks, okay? All right, Virgo, let's get going. And again, it's Virgo, February 2022. Virgo, wow, here we have your cover card. Here is your King of Cups. You also have what crosses you, Knight of Swords. That means someone younger, a little bit younger than you, not as an older, mature man, but someone coming towards you with a big message. So you better be open-minded and listen to that message. What is just at the basis of you is there are some struggles that you've been dealing with personally and some in family, etc. Hardships that you might say. But they're not going to be bad. They're going to be resolved, and you're doing it out of love for someone. You feel like you're competing, you're covering. This is what's behind you. You've been working very hard, but notice you're very much in control. And what covers you is this sense of feeling a disappointment, like people stabbed you in the back, literally, or betrayed you, or somehow let you down and disappointed you. But those are just a temporary feeling of what you've been going through. And again, here you are with the Seven of Wands struggling through business. This is what's before you. It's not new to you, but realize you're the one on top. You may be struggling, you may be competing, but you are the one on top. So here you have a combination of elements here that you need to pay attention to. Of course, everybody has some crosses in their life to bear, and you're doing it, and you're doing it out of love, and you're doing it out of devotion, but in order to do it, you are striving very, very hard at what you're doing in the workplace. It's been a rough year on everybody, rough 2 years, I should say. We're in our third year. Hopefully it's getting a little better for you. Here's what you are feeling yourself. You're hoarding your money. You're scared that you're not going to make enough. You're scared that you're not going to have enough to provide for everybody that you want to. But you very much want to provide. So that is what you are feeling yourself. However, others see you as, well, possibly at times very brazen, sometimes caught up in other elements or activities that are not necessarily conducive to everybody's liking. So this is something you need to kind of check for yourself. When the devil comes up, it's not necessarily the devil per se. It's sometimes we're our own devil. We actually bring on these things ourselves, and so we need to be really careful about it. And when the devil comes out like that, and number 15 in the higher arcana, that's what we call higher arcana cards, and those messages are pretty strong. So basically, you're too wrapped up in the material concerns of your life, and you really need to look at your life journey a little differently. What is it you would really like to be noted for when your time is done? And ask yourself if the material things that you have are all very necessary, and the mannerism that which you obtain them. You know, sometimes we want the biggest thing possible, but then that biggest thing ends up owning us, and we end up having to pay all kinds of indulgences that we didn't want to. If you overindulge yourself, you can create a miserable existence because you're tied to those things now. And so instead of living your life freely and being free to be with the people you want, or the truth of what you want to do in life, you get caught up. So let's take a look at that, and then let's look at what is really well, apparently somebody loves you. You definitely have love in your cards. So there's somebody offering you something you may or may not. It's kind of like your hopes and fears. It's what you want. And you need to nurture it as love is like a garden. You need to nurture the plants and grow the love. And the more nice things you can do for someone, the more they may fall in love with you. But it looks like you're definitely coming into it. So be sure it's the person you want. And then in your final outcome is looking at, you're actually walking away from some wealth that you have. And you need to be careful of somebody tying you up to the point where your assets are tied up that you actually lose. So be very careful about that. You see yourself walking away from things. Now, I know this is more practical than it is mystical, but if you are involved in a relationship, about to get married, sometimes the devil is telling us, be careful of who we let in our circle, and then by all means protect yourself so that you don't lose any of your assets. So you need to be careful of the people around you and what their true motivations are, okay? Pretty practical advice, but based on these cards here, they're definitely telling you, you've worked very hard. You've already had your share of suffering of what you need to. But then here, when the devil comes in, it's about you putting your material things first. You're holding on to your money really tightly. But on the other hand, if you are bringing new people into your life, you need to be very circumspect about how you write your vows, okay? Look, the outcome is, this is a very strong card. This is the outcome. 10 of Cups means very much happiness. So your wishes will come true. Just do due diligence. You can have both at the same time. Judgment means good judgment is coming your way. It's what you deserve. It's beneficial. And there is more messages coming to you from the High Priestess. High Priestess is a feminine energy, and it really is either like a mother, grandmother, possibly on the other side. It could be on this side, but very strong ties to the other side, and they're actually wishing you very good. So please, Virgo, be aware that your beginnings or your most recent background has been a little tough. You felt very disappointed, very lost. You've had some losses, but at the same time, you work very, very hard to strive at what you maintain. So here it is where you need to be careful in your entity here. You're coming into some changes in your life and partnership and love renewed. But you need to watch out if you're not too prideful sometimes. This is where the devil comes in again. If our ego gets involved, ego is some people refer to as edging God out. If our ego gets so involved that your pride is hurt and say, well, that's it, you did this to me, that's it, I don't ever want to talk to you again. But at the same time, you're going to walk away with a broken heart for yourself. So you need to weigh up the level of commitment and maybe remorse from the other person. But as you go into this new phase of your life, you definitely are going to be happy, but just make sure you take care of yourself. Judgment is a very strong card. It can make a lot of transformations, so that means that what's due to you is going to be coming, and the outcome should be what we see here. And so the High Priestess, again, is someone who's kind of, you might be hearing a voice in your head, someone telling you, nice, or do this, or go forward, or you might be hearing, don't go forward. But based on these cards, I would very much say, as much as rocky and difficult as you have been working and building a future, the payoff is coming. Just be very careful you don't get so sidetracked by the baubles and the beads along the way, okay? Don't overextend yourself. If someone loves you, they'll love you. Whether you give them a big ring or a little ring. If they don't, then there's something else you need to think about before you pursue it. But love is definitely in your near future, and that's a reading most of us would want to hear. Okay, so let's take a look at your planet cards, and let's just weigh these out. This is your planet cards, and then your house cards, and then your actual zodiac sign of what's impacting you at this time of your life. Gemini is an air sign, and it's taking place in the 7th house again. 7th house is intimate relationships, so it looks like, again, consistency with the cards, despite the different sets of cards. And when that happens, to me, that confirms the message is very strong. You will be having a glorified intimate relationship. You will probably bind and live with someone and solidify that relationship. But it's taking place in your 7th house. And Gemini is, as I said, it's an air sign. And Virgo is very much an air sign as well. Oh, excuse me, Virgo's Earth. So you better be careful here. So it's your 7th house. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is very smart. So you got somebody that's very smart with you. But again, Neptune, it talks about images and false beliefs. And it kind of corresponds with the Devil card. Whereas you want to be sure that your instincts are correct and your intuitive messages are wise, and, you know, guard yourself against potential illusions. So make sure you make a commitment to somebody, love relationship. Make sure you're protecting what you've just worked so hard for, because I could see from the layout of the cards that you have worked very hard to achieve what you have. So the 7th house is happening. You will be having an intimate relationship, a long-term significant relationship with someone, and just be sure you protect yourself when you do get together, and watch out that you don't disillusion yourself or fool yourself by making illusions out of something that's not really there. I think you understand what I mean. We all need to be guarded, and to some degree, but you also have to be open-hearted. It's a very tricky path, finding that loving relationship, because you also have to be very in tune. So Virgo, your moon sign, the energy is gaining momentum, the waxing moon. Energy gaining momentum means that, in fact, I think you're picking up on that relationship. And what you thought was kind of dormant is actually moving ahead rather quickly. So make sure, if you need to go away and think about, if you need to just take a couple hours for yourself to go somewhere and think about what you want to do with this relationship, please do. Because we had the Devil illusions on that, the Rider deck, and then we have Neptune here in the 7th house as well. So just be sure that you're making the right decisions. Do your due diligence, even if it's a personal loving relationship. Okay. And here's your message from the spirits. Your openness. How open can you be? You can either be too open and let everything out of the bag and everybody else gets a good one on you, or you can be so guarded and closed that you are the one who needs to learn to open up. So I would say, from the basis of how you've been working so hard, it is you who needs to open a little bit. But again, opening doesn't mean just lie back and be a fool. Opening means open your heart to true love, but also keep your wisdom so that you know and figure for yourself if it really is true love. Okay? If you need a reality check, you're more than happy to work with you, or we would be happy to give you an individual reading or a chart to look at what's going on with you. And we can do husband-wife charts, or we can do boyfriend-girlfriend. But also, please sign up and subscribe to our channel if you like this reading. And if you feel you want more personal or go in more depth just on your own reading, then by all means, call us at the link below, and we'll be happy to give you a private reading. All right? Okay, Virgo, that's for you for February 2022. All right. And I wish you good luck with your relationship. It's definitely coming. God bless.